Welcome, focus learners, to this explainer. Okay, today we are absolutely dismantling something that is just incredibly relatable and honestly deeply misunderstood. We're talking about the hidden trap of the good person persona. Look, we have all been there, right? That exact moment when someone asks you for a favor and literally before your brain can even process what they're saying, your mouth has already agreed. It's crazy. So today we're breaking down what we call the people pleaser's curse. And more importantly, we're going to walk through the exact actionable steps you need to take to break free and finally reclaim your true identity. Let's just start with a scenario we know way too well. Someone completely corners you. Hey, can you do my shift tonight? Or maybe a family member insists. Just do what I say and help out. Now really picture what's happening inside your head in that exact moment. Internally, you are absolutely screaming. You're thinking, no way, I am exhausted, I have my own work, my own life. But outwardly, well, your face contorts into this weird, strange smile, your automatic defense system completely kicks in, and you hear yourself saying, oh, sure, yeah, I'll do it. It is just a stark, painful contrast between our internal exhaustion and our automatic, outward compliance.
So let's kick things off with a super quick 3-question self-diagnosis. Be really honest with yourself here. Question 1. Do you find yourself saying yes to things you absolutely hate doing, driven entirely by the fear that saying no will spark anger or rejection? Like, does that fear just completely override your own preferences?
Moving on to question 2. Do you constantly say, I'm sorry? And I don't just mean for accidentally bumping into someone at the grocery store. I mean apologizing for things completely out of your control. Or, get this, apologizing when someone else makes a mistake. Do you basically use the word sorry as this automatic default shield in your everyday interactions just to smooth things over?
And finally, question 3. Do you find yourself agreeing with others solely to avoid conflict? When you're hanging out in a group, or maybe with a partner, do you hide your true thoughts, completely suppress your real opinions, and essentially bury your actual identity just to keep the peace in the room?
All right, here is the diagnosis. If you answered yes to 2 or more of those questions, you aren't just being a nice person. You are unknowingly caught in the people-pleasing curse. And listen, this isn't just some quirky little personality trait. It's a vicious cycle that is actively draining your valuable time, your hard-earned money, and your ultimate peace of mind. But to fix it, we first have to understand why we actually do it. Okay, let's dive into this. From a really young age, we are basically fed this cultural myth that sacrificing your own happiness for others is the ultimate form of kindness, right? We've all heard that. But the psychological reality is vastly different. People-pleasing is not kindness at all. It is actually a subconscious defense mechanism. You aren't doing it just to be agreeable. Your brain is literally doing it to protect you.
The deep psychology behind this defense mechanism is absolutely fascinating. So beyond the classic survival instincts we all know, fight, flight, and freeze, there is actually a 4th trauma response. It's called fawning. Fawning is a subconscious, instinctual effort to soothe or please a perceived threat just to avoid danger or rejection. When your boss demands you work late, your brain perceives a threat to your security, and instead of fighting back or running away, it decides to fawn over them to stay safe. It's an instinctual survival tactic, not an act of genuine generosity.
So why do some of us fawn while others fight? Well, it almost always traces back to childhood conditioning. If you experienced conditional love growing up, your brain planted this really false belief that your entire self-worth depends on external validation. You learned pretty quickly that you only received affection, safety, and praise when you were being the perfectly obedient, good child. And the tragic result? If they aren't happy with you, you fundamentally feel worthless. To see how this trap plays out in the real world, consider Nemo. He's a software engineer. Now at his company, management praises him endlessly. He is known as the silent hero because he literally never says no. Colleagues just dump all their extra tasks right on his desk. But behind that shiny title, Nemo is working until midnight every single night. He's completely neglecting his family, and internally, he is dying from severe corporate burnout. He's getting all the praise, sure, but it is costing him his health and his entire life outside of work.
And this plays out in our personal lives too. Take Saduni. She believed that saying yes to every single demand her partner made was a sign of deep, unconditional love. She let him dictate her clothing choices, her friends, her daily schedule. She basically sacrificed her entire personality. But saying yes didn't actually secure his love. It completely stripped away her independent identity and any mutual respect between them. When he eventually left, Saduni was left completely empty.
Guys, this is a serious wake-up call.
Bearing your true feelings over a long period doesn't just make you tired, it takes a terrifying physical and mental toll. Long-term people-pleasing breeds deep, unspoken resentment. You end up hating the people you are helping. And honestly, worse, you end up hating yourself. And your body keeps the score. This mental stress actually manifests as somatic symptoms: severe gastritis, chronic tension headaches, crippling insomnia. You are literally making yourself sick just to keep other people comfortable.
So the crucial point is this hard truth you really need to hear today. If you always say yes, your word and your time completely lose their value. People won't respect you, they will use you. Perpetual agreeableness does not invite genuine connection or respect. It invites manipulation. Think about it. When you don't value your own time, absolutely nobody else will either. But hey, the good news is we can absolutely rewire this habit. Here is a practical 4-step action plan you can start using today to break the people-pleasing curse for good. Step 1, the 5-minute rule. Never ever say yes immediately. Always tell people, let me check my schedule and get back to you in 5 minutes. Just buy yourself time to think. Step 2, give a direct no without excuses. Excuses just give people a foothold to argue with you. Just say no. Step 3, face the guilt. Look, the first time you say no, you are going to feel incredibly guilty. That's just your brain breaking an old habit. Feel the guilt, but stand firm anyway. And step 4, document healthy boundaries. Physically write down your absolute non-negotiables.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we actually put this into practice at work. When your boss hands you more work, try using this exact professional script. I can do this, but I'll have to shift priorities. Should I stop my current task or take this tomorrow? Notice what you're doing here. You aren't flat out refusing, but you are forcing them to acknowledge your workload, and you are keeping your power in the dynamic. It's a total game changer. Now, what about your friends and family? For them, you need a softer touch, but an equally firm boundary. Use this personal script. I'd love to help, but with my schedule, I can't make time right now. Let's look at another day. Notice what's missing here? There is no long-winded excuse. There's no over-explaining. It is a tactful, crystal-clear boundary that strongly protects your time while totally preserving your personal relationships.
I want to end our explainer today with this final, empowering thought that beautifully summarizes our entire journey. Every time you say no to others, you say yes to yourself. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is an act of deep self-respect. It is exactly how you reclaim your identity and stop living in the shadow of everyone else's demands. So I leave you with this question to chew on. Starting today, who are you going to say yes to? Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and keep protecting your time.